Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are taking a look at another pedal. This time it is the Bad Bob Boost by AnalogMan. I've been really excited about this pedal. I waited for a long time to get my hands on it, and I've had it for a couple of months now, and it's just fantastic. The first time I even heard about this pedal, it was on That Pedal Show with Dan and Mick. They did a whole show. Dan was talking about getting sounds for his AC30. And I have an AC30 here, which is what we're plugged into today. And as soon as I heard him use it on that video, I said, oh man, I got to get that. It sounds fantastic. And it definitely did not disappoint. So real quick about AnalogMan, they're a little bit of a different company than some of the other pedal companies that we talked about on the channel. If you were to call your Sweetwater engineer or go to Guitar Center, or go to your local music store, they probably either have in stock or can quickly get you a Proco Rat, for example, or a Boss SD1, or even some of the Wampler pedals that we've talked about. AnalogMan's a little bit different. There are some stores that have a few of them in stock, but for the most part, you're going to go on AnalogMan's website, or you're going to call them up and fill out an order form, and they're going to make the pedal for you, and then they'll ship it to you. And it can take a few weeks to get, and depending on some of their more popular pedals, it can take longer than that, like the whole King of Tone thing. We don't need to go into that right now. But the Bad Bob Boost has a much shorter waiting period than that particular pedal. Last time I checked on the website, waiting period for one of these was between 2 and 4 weeks. And it's well worth the wait if you need to wait for it. So the Bad Bob Boost is they call it a dirty clean boost. It's a clean boost, but it's got a little bit of grit, a little bit of distortion added to the signal, and it kind of fills out the sound a little bit. It gives it quite a bit of a bass boost as well, so really takes a smaller sound and makes it sound big. It's one of those pedals that once I have it on, if I turn it off, everything just kind of feels wimpy by comparison, So we're going to dive into it here. I'm using a different amp than I have on my previous videos. For the last few videos, I've been using my Fender Hot Rod DeVille going into the Torpedo Captor X. This time I'm running into my Vox AC30. That also is going into the Captor X. There's a little bit of reverb on the signal. That's from the Captor X as well. So right now I'm on the normal channel of the AC30. The preamp volume is a little bit more than halfway. Master volume's at halfway, and tone cut is at halfway. For any of you guys familiar with Vox amps, you'll know what those controls are. So the clean sound sounds like this. Now I say clean sound, right? It's the bypass signal. There's no pedal involved in that. So any overdrive you're hearing there is actually just coming right from the amplifier, from those preamp tubes. And this is really where that Bad Bob Boost shines. It works really well with an amp that is just kind of starting to break up, and it'll push it into some more saturation. So one more time, clean sound. And just switching on the Bad Bob Boost. And then I'll turn it back off again, and you'll see what I mean about it. This amp sounding wimpy. Yeah. This thing, it's just fantastic. So it really fills out the sound quite a bit. It pushes the level of the preamp, so that's going to give it a little bit more drive. The amp is already at a point where it's starting to overdrive. So any additional signal that we put into it isn't really going to make the amp sound louder. It's just going to produce more distortion, and that's what the Bad Bob is doing here. So. So it's still with the level down quite a bit. By the way, I have a guitar pick on there. That's just covering up the LED. It's a really bright LED, which is great for when you're on stage. It's just a little too much for this little webcam here to handle. So you can actually see the LED right through the pick, which is pretty cool. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. We'll go up to about noon here, and we'll see what we get here. So again, we'll do the clean signal, bypass pedal. And then with the Bad Bob. Just great. I mean, great rock and roll kind of sound. If I'm doing like any kind of a rhythm guitar thing and I need a nice overdriven rhythm. sounds just perfect for that. We'll just for fun, we'll push it all the way up here. I don't tend to run it this high, but you can. It's actually more dynamic than I thought it would be at that kind of volume. That kind of level, with the amp set the way that it is, starts to feel a little squishy, which can be cool, kind of like a fuzz almost at that, at that volume level. So that's a whole bunch of gain. That's great for if you're like soloing on the high strings, for example, if you're doing like, for instance, really fills out the sound of those upper strings very, very nicely. So I'll back this off again to about noon. So again, a couple of power chords you can hear. Okay. And then with this particular guitar here, I've got both humbuckers and single coils. I've been using the bridge humbucker up to this point. I'm going to go ahead and switch to this single coil right here. And that's going to give us a little bit of a brighter sound here. So, and then here's that humbucker again in the back. And then the single. Humbucker. Single. Okay. So still retains the quality of that single coil pickup really, really nicely. It's really bright. So I'm going to switch this off. I'm going to change the amp over to the top boost channel so you can hear how that sounds. So let's take a listen to that. All right. We've got the amp set up now on the top boost channel. Again, the preamp gain just about right where it was with the normal channel, just a little bit past noon. And everything else on the amp's the same, master, tone cut, it's all the same thing. All right, so with the bypass signal, you hear quite a bit of overdrive, just from the, I'm using a humbucker here. If I switch to single coil just for comparison. Humbucker. All right. Already quite a bit of overdrive coming from the amp. So, switch on the pedal. I mean, what else? What more do you need? That sounds fantastic. Just great. Just for fun, we'll dime it. It's going to get really squishy, I would imagine. A little squishy on the bottom, but really not too bad. And again, just like with the other one, really great for soloing on those higher strings. Really great for that. So, typically for me, kind of down here a little bit more, I'll get, most of the drive from the amp if I'm going to do that. So here's that bypass signal one more time. And then just use the Bad Bob to kind of, to push it a little bit. Either that for some really great rhythm stuff, or it's great for if you want to get a nice rhythm tone set up with just the guitar and the amp. And then you can hit the Bad Bob for your solo stuff. Yeah, just killer. And so that's it, guys. It's a really simple pedal, on and off, and a volume control, a level control. Really simple pedal, but it's one of those that once you turn it on, you're never going to want to shut it off. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon with another video.